Becoming emotionally stronger takes time, patience, and self awareness. It's about building resilience, learning to cope with life's challenges, and cultivating a mindset that helps you navigate emotions in a healthier way. I put together 5 key points that can help you develop emotional strengths. I wrote them down, typed them up. So here goes some notes. Number one was build self awareness. Emotional strength starts at understanding yourself, your triggers, your emotional responses, and your coping mechanisms. Being aware of your emotions allow you to respond rather than act impulsively. So practice regularly. Check in with yourself. How you feeling? What thoughts are driving those emotions? Journaling or mindfulness exercises can help you track your emotional patterns. What we see is that when you check in with yourself, when you tap into your emotions to find out what you're feeling, that tells you kind of what you're thinking. What we are in this earth is like a transmission tower, right? We transmit frequencies and vibrations into the earth and create an aura around ourselves. What I say a lot is what you frequent becomes your frequency, right? So if I'm putting out negative self-doubt, harsh self-criticism, self-sabotage type of maneuvers and behaviors of thoughts, those are actually going to create a negative environment for me to thrive in, right? It's hard to thrive in a negative environment, right? So with that, I just want to say, check in with what you're thinking. Mindfulness exercises can kind of help ground you if you're thinking negatively, or if you're hyper focused on thinking, spiraling, or anything like that, dealing with anxiety, stress. So check in with what you're feeling. Develop healthy coping mechanisms. Life will always have stressors, but how you cope with them can either drain you or build your emotional strength, right? So if you're thinking negatively, it's going to drain you. It's going to drain your energy. It's going to drain that force field that you have that makes you feel strong and confident, right? So thinking negatively and how you cope with your stressors can either drain or build your emotional strength. Emotional strong people have healthy outlets for their emotions, right? Whether it's talking things through, engaging in physical activity like working out, going to the gym, yoga, exercising, running, swimming, or pursuing creative expression. Some people like to journal, some people like to draw, some people like to paint, that type of thing. So this is the practice for number 2. Find healthy strategies that work for you by exercising, meditation, hobbies, or talking to a trusted friend. Avoid turning to unhealthy habits like numbing your emotion with substances and avoidance, right? Tip number 3, embrace vulnerability. Strength doesn't mean avoiding your feelings or pretending that everything is fine. In fact, emotional strength comes from facing your feelings, even the hard ones, right? And allowing yourself to be vulnerable when necessary. This helps process your emotions rather than suppress them. When it comes to verbalizing your vulnerable behaviors or emotions around other people, be careful who you're vulnerable around. Some people will take advantage of you, right? So just make sure that you've proven your friends, you've proven your support network that they're not going to throw this back in your face later on as, they get mad at you or something like that, right? So the practice for embracing the vulnerability is allowing yourself to feel sadness, anger, or disappointment without self-judgment, though, right? Realize that these are just an emotional experience. These are just an experience that you're going to experience as a human. Emotions are just passed through, right? Things that you were angry about a year ago, you might be angry about now, but more than likely, little things were not still angry, right? So they're just passing through. So allow yourself to feel these emotions without self-judgment. Talk to somebody you trust about what you're going through and express it through writing. I mean, sometimes writing works. Number 4 is set boundaries and learn to say no. Just say no. Emotional strength involves knowing your limits, setting boundaries to help protect your mental and emotional energy, right? Overextending yourself can lead to emotional exhaustion, burnout. So it's important to prioritize your well-being. A practice tip for setting boundaries and learning to say no is say no when you need to. You can do it without feeling guilty. Remember that setting boundaries is a form of self-care, right? Healthy boundaries, right? And emotionally strong people understand that they can pour from an empty cup, that they can't pour from an empty cup, right? So you gotta take in some wellness. You can't pour it all out to people, and then you have none to give or none to drink on yourself to keep you strong, right? Practice resiliency and adaptability. Life doesn't always go as planned, but excuse me, I'm gonna move the camera. Life don't always go as planned, right? We do know that. But emotionally strong people are resilient, right? Tap into that strong power of yourself. Tap into that inner energy that's going to keep you focused. That's going to keep you going. That's going to keep you motivated to power through some of these struggles, right? Learn from the setbacks and adapt to change. And don't let failure define the setbacks and who you are from that, right? Resilient people see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles, right? So to practice for tip 5, when facing a setback, ask yourself, what can I learn from this, man? What did I get from this, right? Focus on what you can control and accept some of the things that are beyond your influence. You can't change everything. You can't fix everything. Some of it's just past your reach, right? Then you just got to let it go until you can do it, right? Develop a growth mindset to help you become more adaptable and resilient in the face of challenges. By practicing these habits, consistently working on your emotional well-being, you'll become more emotionally resilient over time. It's about progress, not perfection. Like Nipsey Hussle say, it's a marathon, baby.